Howdy folks, this is Hawkwind. Welcome back to Hawkwind's Habitat. We're going to be taking a look today at Path of Exile, The Awakening. The Awakening, as far as I know, is actually an update to Path of Exile that's going to be adding quite a bit of functionality and some higher level items to it. I would know absolutely nothing about this because, as I had stated in my blog, I have not played the game in a couple of years now. So we're going to be sort of exploring this together. Last I visited, it was a Diablo-esque, I don't want to say a Diablo clone, it was a Diablo-esque game where you have that same kind of overhead perspective of your character. There were 5 character classes available. You wandered around clicking on things and shooting at things and killing things. There were a couple of really unique features to the game. Number one, the economy. There was no money in the game. You find items, scrolls, those types of things that you would find in other games, and you would end up trading those for the other items in the game. You could end up upgrading, if you will, maybe 5 scrolls for a gem of some kind, that kind of thing. I found that really compelling. The other interesting part about it is the gems. You do not actually learn your skills by selecting from a skill tree or something along those lines. You find these gems that have skills built into them. You then slot those gems into gem-shaped holes, if you will. Anyone that has played Diablo will be familiar with the conceit, into your gear that you're wearing. The more excuse me, the more gems you have, the more skills you have available. The gems themselves can be leveled up. They can be freely placed and removed from gear. There's all kinds of interesting interactions between the different slotting. All in all, it was a very unique experience. My brother and I had played it for, I don't know, maybe 2 months. And then sort of drifted off into doing other things. I can't even remember what the other things were at this point. However, Path of Exile is now doing this big push toward, Grinding Gear Games, the company that makes Path of Exile, are doing this big push toward, hey, we're releasing a bunch of new stuff, this is a great time to come and check it out. So, since it's available on Steam nowadays, I went ahead and hopped on Steam, got it installed, and now we're all going to be taking a look at it together. Here we go.
Attention, prisoners! For your crimes against Oriath, you have been exiled to the Forsaken Continent of Greyclast. The Magisters of Oriath are merciful and have granted all exiles one weapon. Choose wisely. Oriath has bestowed a gift upon you, a chance to redeem your crimes, a new life. Do not squander it.
Alright, we have a chance to redeem our crimes, us and our one weapon that our masters have granted us. Alright, this guy here is the Templar. That was the character that I was playing previously. He was sort of a combination of melee and heals kind of thing. This guy here, I can't remember if he's named the Barbarian, but that's basically what he is, specializing in heavy-duty hits with two-handed weapons. This character...
A simple job, I was told. Silence a big mouth, get a big payout, and no one was going to be the wiser. Tidy, except for one loose end. Me. I would have kept my mouth shut. Professional integrity, it's called. Unfortunately, not something my employers believed in. They raised a toast to a job well done. I drank, and the next thing I know, I'm on this stinking crate bound for exile. It's not a complete loss, I suppose. The way I hear it, there'll be plenty of work for a man of my talents in Greyclast.
Okay, so it looks like we've got kind of a rogue assassin type class here. I had been thinking I would go with more of a ranged type class, but this guy sounds interesting enough. I will go ahead and select him for now, and we will move forward. A million years ago, back when I still played Dungeons & Dragons, I had a series of NPCs that I had created, so I generally have stuck with using those names over and over again. My rogue type character was a guy named Janar Yarkor in D&D parlance. He was a half health thief. So we'll see if the name Janar is even available. Nope. Let's try his surname, Yarkor. Well, yes, I know he doesn't exist. That's why we're trying to create him. The premise, I believe, is your ship, the Exile ship, has actually been shipwrecked on a beach. Yep, looks like it. Okay, so this must be us, lying around here without much to do. And this is a weapon. As you can see, let's go ahead and stand up.
Nothing like a brisk dip to start the day. Now where on God's arse am I?
Okay. So, we'll take a look at our inventory. Notice here, as I had stated before, we have these gaps in our, not gaps, what's the term? Sockets. Thank you very much, brain. We have a red socket, a green socket, and a blue socket. These sockets are utilized to add gems into that will represent skills that we can currently use. Right this minute, the one and only skill we have is our default attack. Strike our foes down with a powerful blow, 3 to 10 physical damage with this shank. The small life flasks are kind of interesting. This is also another conceit that was taken from Diablo and improved. Your life flasks have multiple charges to them, and they recharge as you engage in combat. Okay, so I see we're going to have a lot of chat going on here. I'm not totally interested in the chat right this second, so let me see if I can figure out how to leave this channel. Let's go to just party chat. Nope, that's not it. If I could figure out how to I've joined, I have left. Okay, looks good. So, I think the usual mechanic of a exclamation point over somebody meaning an open quest.
Bastards dumped near 24 of us off that ship. You and me were all that survived the swim. Never was much difference between exile and the dead sentence. Once I catch my breath here, we'll take a look around, see what Raycross has on offer. I thought I saw smoke at those ruins up the beach. It could be worth checking if there's...
Oh, that wasn't good. So, we've got a hungry corpse. Ah! The zombie invasion. Lovely. So, looks like we do have a hit and run available.
Is it possible to murder someone who's already dead?
So, Viper Strike. Let's take a look here. Here we have our first ability gem. This one hits the enemy, adding some of our physical damage as chaos damage and applying poison. Requires a claw, dagger, or sword. Well, as it turns out, we happen to have a dagger. So we'll go ahead and add that. We now have that as our right mouse button attack. That Viper Strike, it costs 5 mana every time we use it. As I said previously anyway, you could actually freely insert and remove those gems so that you could build up kind of a collection of different abilities. Let's see. Looks like Tab gives us a nice overlay map. Okay, we got 3 of these guys. So my first question is... Okay, that was our chaos attack. Aha! The poison works. Good. So we'll run in, take a hit, and run out. Wait for the poison to do its job. Run in, run out. Poison didn't quite finish him off. Apparently I wasn't patient enough. Alright. Looking good. Ooh, I missed. That wasn't good. I gotta admit, after all the strategizing and planning that's gone into my last couple of titles, Darkest Dungeon and XCOM Long War, just sort of running in and stabbing somebody and running away is kind of a nice switch. These guys don't appear to be dropping any loot. Which is unfortunate. Alright, he's down. I'm just kind of alternating here between poison attacks and regular old melee attacks, if you will. Looks like we've got a little palisade here, a rock, a couple more corpses wandering around. Okay, so we are fast enough to actually sort of chain attacks together without necessarily opening ourselves up to retaliatory attacks. Whoa, okay. Gonna have to do some kiting here for sure. Got something like 7 or 8 zombies moaning and wandering around. Ouch. Okay, so the Alt key does highlight things that have been dropped on the ground. That's a driftwood scepter. I missed again. I'm quite surprised that, okay, so the barrel exploded. We'll go ahead and hit the 2 key here. Suck down some of that small life flask. And as I stated previously, my experience was when you killed somebody, that began refilling. So you actually get a lot more bang for your buck out of each of these potions. We've got a driftwood wand and a driftwood scepter. As I said before, we can't exactly take these and sell them. There isn't a merchant that'll hand you gold for them. What the merchants will hand you is things like, identify scrolls, crafting materials, that kind of thing. It's a barter economy rather than a here let's give you a piece of gold and let you spend that gold on something else. If I remember correctly, you are given a stash shareable between all of your characters that you can be placing these items in. Okay, there's another glass shank. Let's see how it compares to our current one. It only has 2 of the sockets in it rather than the 3. We'll go ahead and stick with our current one. Looking good so far. Open a crate, nothing in it. Okay. Another large group of these zombies. I would be a lot happier with a thrown dagger attack here, but exiles can't be choosers. Okay. We're down to about half of our life, so we'll go ahead and take another slug of that life flask. I believe I heard something drop when one of these zombies went to meet their final death. Yes, indeed. An armorer's scrap. Like I said, this is a crafting material. You use it to improve your armor when, of course, you ever get some armor, which we have not discovered any yet. Scroll of Wisdom is a identify scroll. I don't believe we've located any items that need to be identified just yet. I think we've picked up stuff that in another game we might just refer to as vendor trash. Good. Come on. Split up. There we go. Whoops. I really am liking the fact that you can run in, run out, do this dodge kind of thing. Kind of used to the idea of standing mano a mano in these games and just swinging.
It's
Okay.
nice not being dead yet.
It's nice not being dead yet. Okay, here is, we're about to introduce you to the really, really intense part of this game. Skill points. You click on this passive skill point, and lo and behold, this is the skill chart. It is just absolutely staggering to look at to start with. Alright, so we right now are given 2 intelligence equaling 1 mana, 5 intelligence equals some energy shield, 1 dexterity equals 2 accuracy, 5 dexterity equals 1% evasion. You now will take these points, these skill points, and you'll start heading off some particular direction on this tree, looking toward bonuses that you want. Here, for example, is a coordination bonus. 12% increased attack speed, 6% increased cast speed, plus 20 to dexterity. We know that dexterity has these particular bonuses, so 1 dexterity equals plus 2 accuracy. That would seem to indicate that this plus 20 dexterity will give us an additional 40 accuracy. The things that are surrounded in these yellow borders are the actual large target, the actual targets for these, and you use these builders to actually move down the down the skill freeway to get to them. So, if we want to go to physical and chaos damage and life, we would start heading this direction. If we wanted to start looking at elemental damage and energy shield, we would start heading this way. I guess I don't really envision this particular rogue as a mage rogue, elemental damage, energy shield. I think I'm looking more for physical damage. So we'll go ahead and take this point right here that leads us to 14% increased physical damage, 14% increased chaos damage, and 12 extra hit points. You can be laying these points out to test and then hit cancel if you have a whole bunch of them at any given time. I of course only have the one, so now that I've selected this, I will hit apply. And voila, that is what we have. If we look at our menu now, we can look at our character screen. Our life is now 81, and we get great stats on all of these items. We now know our DPS is 11.01, our chance to hit's 88%, we get 1.5 attacks per second. Our main hand is giving us 4 to 12 points total combined damage. That's an excellent point. Have I investigated whether we can utilize dual-handed attacks? We can. Driftwood Scepter would have given us 10% increased elemental damage. Driftwood Wand would have given us increased spell damage. We're not going to be utilizing any of those. We'll go ahead and stick with these double daggers for right this minute. So, let's see what this looks like. That is much faster. Our damage per second has now gone up to 13.78 from 11 points. Okay, we've got a glass shank with only one socket in it. We'll go ahead and take that for potential use as trade items. Superior Iron Greaves, quality 7%, armor 6. I heard a clank there. Yes, it looks like we have auto-equipped that. Superior Crude Bow. Now, if I remember correctly, we have a ability to do 2 different sets of gear. So I don't remember what the hotkey is for switching between the two. Alright, it's the X key. So let's wander over this way. Let's equip the bow. We can indeed be doing ranged attacks. Excellent. Now I'm not sure if the Shadow, the class, is designed to be using ranged attacks, but one of the nice things about that gigantic skill customization screen that you saw is that you can just sort of wander through that screen until you get to the part of the screen where you're getting bonuses to your ranged attacks, and then build that onto the character that you're currently using, should you so desire. You won't get enough skill points during your leveling up that you can probably inhabit even 10% of the screen. That's a superior crude bow. That's a superior crude bow. One's got slightly higher physical damage. Now, you'll notice that these sockets here are linked. There is a mechanism there that improves the skills as they are linked. I don't exactly remember what that mechanism is. We'll just have to all discover it together. A rusted sword. Now, if I remember correctly, the attack we are using requires a claw, dagger, or sword. Okay, so we could actually, if we desired, use this rusted sword rather than the glass shank. Let's take a look at our DPS numbers. We're at 13.78 right this minute. 13.1. We're actually better off. Our DPS is slightly higher with the dagger. Our chance to hit is slightly higher with the sword. I think we'll go ahead and stick with the dual daggers. I just like the aesthetic feel of that. Now, holding down the shift key does hold us in position as we take our shots. That way we're not wandering around the map while we're attempting to engage in missile combat. Alright. Okay, you'll note here there's a suddenly a little bar appearing next to our Viper Strike. Our Viper Strike is getting ready to level up. That is the ability that we're utilizing. Apparently it is not requiring that we actually be using the ability. It's just a number of kills that we're getting while we have it equipped. Okay, so there's somebody named Hillock. Looks like he can be kited pretty freely. A large zombie called Hillock is attacking the town. Kill him to gain access. Okay, we can do that. Alright, our Viper Strike gem is now ready to level up. Enter town for our reward. The skill gem can now be leveled up by clicking on this button. So let's go ahead and click on the button and see what we get. Oh, apparently we just leveled up. I should have been more attentive. So now our Viper Strike at level 2. Unfortunately, we missed the thanks to me automatically clicking the button, we missed the comparison showing you what it was at level 1 versus what it's at level 2. I do see that we're going to require 308 experience to get it leveled up to presumably level 3. As each of these skills levels up, you can actually level a skill gem up to the point where you can no longer use it because your character is not high level enough to utilize it anymore. Okay, we've killed Hillock. We need to enter town for our reward. Did Hillock drop anything? Oh, yes he did. He dropped some gauntlets. Colored items are magical. I do not remember precisely the difference between what a blue is and what a yellow is. If I remember correctly, the yellows are of a higher rarity than the blues. Therefore, you'll get fewer of the yellow type. So we'll go ahead and utilize these scrolls of wisdom. All right, click it. So here we have a nailed fist of the cloud. Gives us 4 to 9 damage plus 3 life gained for each enemy hit. So we've got a bit of a bleed there, that's nice, and also gives us plus 7 to lightning resistance. I believe I want to maintain this glass shank because of the Viper Strike that's currently in, which is the only gem we have. We have 2 red sockets and a blue socket. That means that we will not be able to use that green gem in this weapon, so we'll just replace our secondary weapon. And we'll go ahead and also identify these iron gauntlets. They give us plus 11 to dexterity, plus 9 to our accuracy, plus 9 to our armor, plus 6 to maximum life, and it has a 7% magic find, basically. So, excellent. We'll take it. Sounds great. Let's go ahead and head into town and see what they have to say. Welcome to Lion Eye's Watch. I need to talk with somebody named Tarkley. Here we are in a hub. We are going to see a whole bunch of other player characters wandering around. Every time you enter a not hub, one of these zones, it is going to be created individually for you. You will not be sharing it with other people unless you have offered other people the opportunity to join your party, in which case your entire party will go out and explore that area together. We have someone named Vestal that wants to talk to us, someone named Nessa that wants to talk to us. Ah, and there's Tarkley right there. Let's see what Tarkley has to say.
Fine work with Hillock. Where'd you learn to fight like that? Don't tell me. We exiles have no history. Dominus took it from us the moment his blackguards dumped us in the water out there. Just live or die now. Here, have one of these. And no need to thank me. I'm thinking of myself and the others here. The longer we fighters live, the longer everyone lives.
Okay, so skill gems should be placed in sockets of the appropriate color to grant you skills. You can right-click a gem to remove it from a socket. Alrighty, so our potentials are Freezing Pulse, which is a projectile spell cold. An icy projectile which has a chance to freeze enemies it passes through. It's a little magey. Next is a fire trap. Throws a trap that explodes when triggered, dealing fire damage to surrounding enemies, leaving an area of burning ground. That's sort of roguish. I do notice it's green. I think we do not have any addition. We do have some green slots in our shabby jerkin. I'm not sure how long we're going to keep these items is the whole thing. We might want to be looking for blue or red items. I see there are no reds here. Alright, lightning tendrils. Lightning is released from your hands 4 times in quick succession. That sounds like a mage's lightning bolt attack. Green ethereal knives. Fires an arc of knives in front of the caster which deal physical damage. And frost blades. Attack with increased range, releasing icy blades from the struck enemy that fly at other enemies. Well, that's sort of interesting sounding. We attack an enemy, whereupon icy blades fly out of that enemy and hit other people. I am assuming here, and again, this might be my memory, so forgive me if this is an incorrect assumption. I'm assuming that green designates dexterity-based attacks, blue designates intelligence-based attacks, and red designates strength-based attacks, or skills. So, since I am trying to build a dexterity-type rogue at this point, I ought to take one of these greens. Let's take a look at the fire trap. That seems appropriately roguey to me. We will drop that right there. Our quest is now complete. Okay. I've killed Hillock and received a reward from Tarkley. Excellent. Now there is quite a bit of chatter with all of these different characters giving us backstory and those type of things. I am going to go ahead and go through all of this at this point. I will attempt to maybe leave an annotation or something like that, letting everybody know when all of the chatter is done, so that you can just fast forward past it if you are not interested in it.
The walls of this old ruin, Lion Eye's watch. Defensible enough with a few stout, well-armed veterans. But what have I got? Starving exiles with driftwood clubs and rusted dirks. The Eternal Empire has some right nasty leftovers. Whether it's something in the air or in the water, no one stays dead in Rayclast. Not the first time. It'll take a little while, but sooner or later corpses wake up and go looking for breakfast.
Ah yes, zombies. We've already run into a few of those. Alright, so here are the items that he has currently for sale. As I stated, rather than gold, he is selling things for, in this particular case, a scroll of wisdom. Oh, that's an interesting piece, for only one scroll of wisdom. It would give us another green as well. I might be interested in taking that. I see I'm kind of out of space here in my inventory, however. Let's sell some items. Definitely don't want a wand. Place my items here. He will offer us a fragment of a scroll. 5 fragments becomes a scroll of wisdom. 1 scroll of wisdom will enable us to buy the jerkin I was just looking at. Alright. Okay, those 5 items turn into 1 scroll of wisdom. We'll take it. And now we'll go back and pick up that superior plate vest. And it looks like it docked us the 1 scroll of wisdom all on its own. So, my next question is, do I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have 5 more items that we could sell and get another scroll. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Excellent. I may want to go ahead and get rid of that glass shank as well, even though that's going to be another fragment, because the glass shank takes up 3 inventory spaces. The scroll fragment only takes up 1. You are going to get used to the whole very Tetris kind of moving things around in your inventory so that you can make things fit while you're out and about in the wilderness. Okay, let's come walk over here. Let's go ahead and install this fire trap. So, that fire trap has installed itself on mouse button 3. I would really rather have it on one of my QWERT buttons, so we'll go ahead and select Q. And as you can see, it has updated my look. I now have the glass shank in one hand, the fist on the other, and I'm wearing gauntlets, boots, and a very odd tank top looking piece of armor.
I saw what you did to Hillock out there, Shadow. Your murderous art is the reason you're here, in exile. And it'll be the one thing that sees you through to another dawn. I'm Nessa, and I suppose I should thank you for ridding us of the putrid giant. Back in Oriath, I feared your kind, condemned you from afar. In Raycast, I don't have that luxury. Lionel's watch isn't much, but it's ours. We could use you here, while you live. But should you wish to venture out, do just one thing for me. Out on the coast, amongst the wrecks, there must be a ship's medicine chest. I have many to care for, and there's only so much I can do with herbs and seawater.
Herbs and seawater. How very sad. Alright, and now we need to talk with Vestal, who is standing 2 feet away.
A sodden shadow staggered from the surf and surveyed the somber strand. That's the first line of the poem I'm writing about you, Exile. Easy there. You couldn't poison a bloke with a look like that. The name's Vestal, captain of the good ship Merry Go. Unless my Merry Go is gone. My crew is gone. But my wits remain. There's an island, a hop, skip and a wade offshore of the terraces. That's where my Merry Go ran aground. Watched the locals spit roast the ship's doctor, but his medicine chest might still be there, amongst the splinters and bones. It'd have everything Nessa might need. Dr. Shaky Hands Opton was lousy with a scalpel and even worse with a sword, but he knew his apothecary. Explains the shaky hands, if you ask me.
Ah, yes. The classic drug-addicted doctor. Okay, here's our stash. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 stash pages available to be throwing things into. Right this minute, it looks like a ton of space. If I remember correctly, that changes in a hurry. But for right this minute, we can drop our armor scrap in there. We need 40 of them before we can do anything. I don't think we're gonna get 40 of those anytime real soon. So we'll go with our Scroll of Wisdom and our Scroll Fragment. We have another... yes, this is the quest that we just took. There's a ship beached on the tidal island containing a medicine chest. So, looks like the tidal island is off the coast here a little further down from where we're at. Twilight Strand is where we started. We're now in Lion Eye's Watch, and we don't know what these 2 zones are yet. Also, if I remember correctly, yes, there's a waypoint system here, similar to the one in Diablo, where you can fast travel around the map. You actually have to locate the waypoints in order to activate them. Obviously, we didn't have a waypoint in the zone we were just in previously, so we're going to go ahead and assume that the next waypoint is further on down the road. Okay, I don't see anything additional that needs to be done at this point, so we'll go ahead and travel down to the coast. We'll do some experimentation with the fire trap skill.
Down at the slaughterhouse. Yes, that's what this place smells like.
A beach that smells like a slaughterhouse. Not the vacation destination of choice. Okay. Oh, well that worked okay. Oh, that worked very nicely. Doesn't look like anybody dropped anything, but that's okay. Come on in, bud. Look like lobsters. Very large, angry lobsters. Interesting. So, found some iron gauntlets. Oops. I'm guessing there's a control somewhere that would enable us to keep our loot detection on all the time. Ah, interesting. Come on through. I'm also not sure if I can walk through the remains of my own traps. I'm not going to experiment with that just yet. Well, that was attractive. The corpse had eaten the driftwood ones. I missed. Alright. Still attempting to figure out here if I'm more interested in going knife hunting or if I'm interested in pulling out a bow. A bow doesn't feel very roguelike, but it also seems to grant me enhanced chances for survival. Not that anything's been terrifically difficult just yet. Got me with their very own glass shank. Down about a third of our life, we'll go ahead and suck down some potionage. Seem to be taking a tremendous amount of damage here. We have another driftwood scepter. We'll go ahead and try going toe-to-toe here. Ooh, I see somebody doing something I don't like. Whatever he is, he's on fire now. Let's take some shots. He is an ancient archer. Great Rib Talisman.
I'm impressed by how much this place wants me dead.
It is a corrupted talisman tier 1. I will be the first to admit that I have no idea what this thing is. I don't remember talismans or corrupt talismans from my previous experience with the game. So we will have to investigate. Got a driftwood club, an iron hat, and another iron hat. Good enough. There's the traps too. That doesn't look good. I'm not sure who that was up here on top of this hill, but they didn't look like they wanted me to stick around and find out. Interesting. I am not in great shape here. Let's see if I can do a bit of hit and run action. Oh, brother. Okay. This is called biting off more than you can chew. get some space to work with here. Very good. Very good. Excellent. So we've thinned them out a bit. Let's see what else we have here. A rustic sash. Not sure how rustic I feel at this point. I did notice a skeleton archer down below. I seem to be missing quite a bit. Which I'm not crazy about. A plate vest. I think I'm wearing a plate vest currently, if I'm not mistaken. A superior one. Alright. Let's see what we can do here. So she can be poisoned. We just need to kind of move around in circles here. Got her. Very good. A magical crude bow of some kind. I don't know if it's going to need to be identified or not. I may need to have some second thoughts here about not taking one of those mage missile abilities. Having a missile ability keyed to that right mouse button would be a heck of a lot easier than switching back and forth from daggers to bows. Apparently my range is better than that of the skeletons, which is always good news. I will never, ever, ever understand the idea of poison working on undead creatures. Darkest Dungeon, I think, got the idea right when they said that, put in the rules that you couldn't affect undead creatures with bleeds, but for some reason, poison still works. Maybe the idea there is that it's an acidic attack that's just eating away at their connecting tissue or something along those lines. Alright. Now I am sure that there are items like this one right here lying around that I have missed. Oh, interesting. This rusted hatchet is just appearing now. Okay, we got a passive skill point available from somewhere. I'm not sure what we did to earn it. Let's back up a little bit. So far we have decided to head into physical and chaos damage. That coordination with the increased attack speed and cast speed plus 20 to dexterity sounds good. I need to decide if I just want to be adding straight points to dexterity. I'll be getting 30 here before I go there, or I'm adding physical and chaos damage going along the top there, or I can add attack speed. I think I like the idea of fast envenomed attacks. Maybe I can build out that way, looking toward a skill set that's built around damage over time. So let's go ahead and continue moving this direction. Again, I don't even know if such a thing exists, but I'm just going to make the assumption that it does. Okay, here we go. Let's give him a little poison. Excellent. Not crazy about these explosive barrels. Oh, more zombies. Okay. No reason to do anything with the zombies but stand back and put holes in them. I really feel doing this exploration here like I'm working a lot harder than I was in the initial levels of Diablo 3. Like there's an actual challenge to it, there's some threat. Okay. We have a weathered carving here. I notice it did show up as a little book icon on the map. Let's take a look at it.
Khan's canoe struck this sand with the force of destiny. At his beck, the greatest war host in Kardui history tamed the wild sea, their canoes coupling with the land one by one. Lion-eyed gemlings met us with shining metal and bold words. Hyri's arrows withered their pride. Khan's axes silenced their despair. Marseilles' lion fought bravely to the last. Khan honored him with a place on his belt. Khan has shown Rayclast our Kardui strength. Khan will teach Rayclast the Kardui way.
Interesting. Got some headhunter meets Polynesian mythos going on there. I like it. I'm not really sure where I'm going here. I'm just sort of wandering around. I see another item here. Aha! A waypoint. So, here we are at the coast waypoint. Let's go ahead and head back to Lion's Eye Watch. Do some transactions. Now I noticed that Nessa also had some items for purchase. Oh, interesting. So we have belts, we have wands, empty flasks, orb of transmutation upgrades a normal item to a magic item, okay. Reforges a magic item into an item with random properties. Aha! Town portals. Excellent. Those are going to be important later. And rings. I notice we do indeed have a couple of ring slots available. So, we have this break rib talisman that gave us 25% increased physical damage, but it's corrupted. I wonder how one goes about getting something uncorrupted. So, does Vestal also have things to sell? He does not.
Welcome.
Okay, so what do we have to sell? We can get rid of those iron gauntlets. These driftwood wands. Blue, red, red. Red, red, and a green. Let's keep the green one for right now. Our plate vest is better. We'll keep it. We did find a portal scroll there somewhere. Not sure where that came from. 21% increased physical damage, 16% increased physical damage. Ah, that needs to be identified. That is simply a rusted hatchet. Okay. Let's go ahead and accept all that. So, apparently we are unable to switch gear while we are speaking with the vendor. That's good information to have. Let's go ahead and identify this bow. I have a Frosted Crude Bow of Calm, adding some cold damage and 13 to our accuracy rating. I'm gonna go ahead and take it. I'm still on the fence about utilizing missile weapons versus my melee weapons. I think my next opportunity I want to go ahead and learn some type of a magic missile attack, so that I'm not having to switch back and forth between my weapon sets. Okay, let's get right back to it. Back to the coast. All right, big groups. Let's see who's still left over after walking through the fire. Iron Ring. Iron Ring will add 1 to 4 physical damage to our attacks. Sure, we'll take that. Again, we seem to be auto-equipping these items. I can't help but notice that I seem to have missed a whole area down over here. Perhaps I need to go down there and take a look. Baby burn. Disco Inferno. Okay, let's head back down the coast here a bit. See if I can figure... Aha! I did. So, this is the title island. This is where we need to go in order to complete the quest that we were requested by Nessa, the town healer, wanting us to get the apothecary's supplies. Well, excuse me, the healer's apothecary. Okay, little cannibal action. Whoa, not sure what these are. Tide Strikers. They're ugly, whatever they are. They are poisonable, apparently. Let's get our strikes in while we can here. Very nice. Come on through, guys. The weather's fine. Crucified corpses leaving behind swords and bows. Oh, it was very kind of him to set himself on fire for me before engaging. Ooh, I missed somehow. Something's getting ready to level. Fire trap. Come on through. Alright, I am now level 4. Quite honestly, I don't remember making level 3, but we will not question our good fortune. We will merely accept it. Got another weathered carving, presumably providing more backstory.
Calm has removed the eternal stain from this coast. The Empire's citizens decorate our meeting houses with their heads. Our warriors build homes for our families. Our families till the earth, fish the waters, fill the air with song. The Kardui Way is yet a seedling here, but it grows, gains in pride and power every day. Calm has kept his promise. The time of the Karui has come.
The time of the Karui has come. We don't know who the Karui are, but
Khan
their
has
time has come.
removed the eternal stain from this coast. The Empire's citizens decorate our meeting houses with their heads. Our warriors build homes for our families. Our families till the earth, fish the waters, fill the air with song. The Karui way is yet a seedling here, but it grows, gains in pride and power every day. Khan has kept his promise. The time of the Karui has come.
Oh my goodness, we got a bunch of these very angry lobsters. Well, I suppose they're closer to crabs than lobsters, but, you know, I'm a New Mexico boy. What do I know about arthropods? Some rawhide boots. Looked like there were a couple of green slots in there. Aha! This looks like a shipwreck. Okay. Well, this just got complicated. Alright. Let's see what we can do about not being killed by this guy. Looks like we need some mana. Come closer. That was close. That was real close. I got that one just a little too close. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab the medicine chest. See how many more items we can pick up here. A Paiwa.
I need more pockets.
Yeah. Don't we always need more pockets? Okay. So, what's a skinning knife look like? Interesting. Evasion versus... Is a skinning knife anything special? 4 to 16? 3 to 10? I'd say yes. That does indeed look better. Actually, it requires level 5. Can't even use it yet. Let's drop the rusted hatchet. Let's grab the skinning knife. Let's take a look at the superior rusted hatchet. Nah, maybe not. Okay, so we also can level up both of our abilities. We'll go ahead and take care of that in a minute. But I think there's no real reason to use our single town portal scroll. I think we should just exit the way we came in and then take the teleportation device back. The waypoint, there we go. Alright, now before I talk with anybody, I want to sell off some of these items.
Still alive, are we?
Still alive I am. A chainmail vest, armor and an energy shield. It's a shabby jerkin with an evasion rating of 21 versus a plate gem with armor of 15. I believe evasion is tied to dexterity, armor is tied to strength, energy shield is tied to intelligence. I should probably be using interesting, it's not allowing me to oh right. Again, I'm just making guesses here, folks, so If later on I turn out to be totally all wet, I will apologize. Get rid of that chainmail vest. We'll get rid of that rotted round shield. That's the medicine chest. Right this second we are going 2 weapons in each hand rather than a buckler. I think we'll go ahead and stick with that. Evasion versus armor. You know, at some point I'm gonna remember that I cannot switch gear while I'm talking to a vendor. It's gonna happen. It may not be soon, but I promise you it is going to happen. Alright. Get rid of the rusted sword, get rid of the crude bow, get rid of the non-remarkable nailed fist. We're gonna save that skinning knife, we're gonna save that Payua amulet, just in case we want to replace that break grip talisman with it. We're gonna pull the trigger. Okay. Now, the whole reason I did that was because what if Nessa wants to give us something cool that we didn't have enough inventory space for previously?
A medicine chest. This means more to us than you can know. There is some who wouldn't have lasted the night without it. Take this. In return for the knowledge that one can do more than suffer and rayfast. You and Tartley, you give us something better than serums and salt. You give us hope.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, but I'm pretty big on serums and salves, personally. Okay, so I see we've picked up some life flasks when I wasn't looking. It's a medium life flask, a medium mana flask, and a quicksilver flask that every 5 seconds will give us a 40% increase in movement speed. Excuse me, a 40% increase of movement speed that will last 5 seconds. I think I will go ahead and take a second mana flask instead. For right now. The quest is complete. We've given the medicine chest to Nessa and have received our reward. Alright. We will go ahead and place the mana flask there. We're going to wait on that skinning knife until we are level 5 and can actually utilize it. I'm going to investigate that Payua amulet. And I see we have to level a couple of our skills. Our Viper Strike. Currently is level 2. I was kind of hoping that it was going to give us some information about what the next level would do for us. Thus far, it doesn't seem to be telling me that. So, right this minute, 25% of our physical damage is converted to chaos. Base duration is 8 seconds. I'm assuming that's a poison duration. Deals 131.6% of base attack damage. Always poisons on hit. Okay, so the important numbers to remember here are 25%, 8 seconds, 131%. 25%, 8 seconds, 133.2%. It's a very, very small incremental skill up. Alright. Our fire trap is dealing 3 to 5 damage. Trapped 6 round for 16 seconds. Deals 4.1 fire damage per second for 8 seconds. So does 3 to 5 when they first walk through it, and then does another 32 points of damage after that. Leveled up, it is doing 4 to 6 when they first walk through it. Still lasts 16 seconds, still duration of the fire is still 8 seconds, but now it's doing 5 fire damage per second for 8 seconds. Okay, that was a worthwhile upgrade. Alrighty folks, well, I think that's going to do it for this particular episode of Hawkwind's Habitat. Hope you've enjoyed taking a look at Path of Exile with me. I will be coming back to it as we rotate through the 3 different games that we're taking a look at right this minute, doing walkthroughs on. Let me know any thoughts you might have on this. If anybody is playing Path of Exile and has any kind of input they'd like to give, I'd sure love to hear it. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Habitat. Thanks for joining us.